G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. You're watching Flash Like Crazy. Alright, pocket check. I am carrying today my Raylight Stonewashed Lan Apple. This is in the, I believe it's XPL, is it XPL? Maybe XPL 6000K. So I love this light. It's great outdoor light, great EDC light as well for daytime because it is quite bright, so it kind of fights that ambient light of the sun if you're looking for things underneath a car or whatever, and there's a lot of surrounding light. This does well to combat that. So love this light. Now, I am reviewing today the Malkoff Bodyguard V1 and V2. So I've always wanted to compare these two. It's not going to be a long review because there's not much to talk about except that the night shots will speak for themselves about what these two do. All right, let's check it out. All right, so I don't want this to be a long video or anything like that, but I just wanted to show the difference between the Bodyguard V1 and the Bodyguard V2. Now, I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, so when they come, you'll get them in these plastic sleeves inside a box. MDC BGV2, Bodyguard V2. MDC BG Bodyguard. You can buy these from Malkoff, just the head, so you can make your own bodies. So as you can see here, I've got both of these on the single CR123 bodies, right? But both of them can go on a 16650 body, which I've got here, or even a 14500 1AA body. So what I'll do is I'll just show you that they can use all the batteries that are available to them in different bodies. So I'll start with, actually I'll finish with the CR123 bodies because they're the ones I'll leave them in. But I will start with 16650. So 16650, 3.7 volt, 2500 milliamp hour. We have here the Bodyguard V2. No problem at all. Okay. Now I'll show you the Bodyguard V1. Great Lego lights, Malkoff are. Really phenomenal. So bang, V1, no problem at all. Now we will go into the 14500. So drop that in there. Oh, so I'll just show you, it is an 800 milliamp, 3.6 volt, 14500 lithium. So now how do I know this will work? Because the input, the voltage that is required to have this head work is in between 3 and 6 volts. This is a 3.6, 3.7 volt light, bang, no dramas. Now, the smaller the milliamp hour, the shorter the runtime, but it's still gonna work, right? So, bang, there we go, V2. Now, I will show you as well, so I'll just leave those there. I'll finish on these, but I'll just show you as well. These two are your rechargeable 16340 batteries, so CR123 sized, but I will just show you that it can be used with a standard CR123, 123A. So we have here, now this is the V2, 3.4 to 6 volts. This is only a 3 volt CR123 battery, but you can use this with, you can use the BGV2, the Bodyguard V2 with 2 of these, or one of them, it's just gonna drain it very fast. So let me show you. See, look at the output, very, very minimal output. Why is that? Because it is not matching the 3.4 volt required input. Now, check the V1 though. Oh, a lot brighter. Not as bright as when you've got the 16340, but a lot brighter. Why is that? Because this input is 3 volt to 6 volt. So the Bodyguard V2 requires a bit more voltage to work. But now, when we put the rechargeable 16340s, and these are just 550 milliamp hour, 3.7 volts. So not gonna last, enormous amount of time. But when you put them in here like that, now we're good to go. Okay, so let's go over the differences, and I'll just move these to the side now. So in terms of differences, there's no aesthetic differences whatsoever except for literally what is written on them. 3.6 volt, 3 to 6 volts, sorry, or, come on, there we go, 3 to 6 volt Bodyguard V1, or 3.4 to 6 volt Bodyguard V2. Sorry, that was a little bit fuzzy or not in focus. Now, the Bodyguard V1 has a standard bezel and an unshrouded tail cap. Bodyguard V2 has a shrouded tail cap and a stainless steel metal bezel. They don't come like that, or this does come like this. This doesn't come with this bezel. I've only got it on there just so we can tell the difference more easily. But the real thing about these lights is the differences that their outputs are. And it's actually not very different. So the Bodyguard V2, click it on, see the enormous amount of white light in the middle and the spill here, okay? Take notice of that. Now, after 8 seconds, anyone who's not familiar with the Bodyguards, they are designed as a self-defense light that gives an instant burst of light and after 8 seconds drops down to a much more usable brightness, okay? So the Bodyguard V2 starts off at, I think it is 1100 lumens. Then at 2 seconds, it drops down to 1000 lumens. And then after 8 seconds, it drops to about 250 lumens, which it will stay on, okay? If you turn it off and back on, it jumps right back up to 1000 lumens for another 8 seconds. So it's not that it's overheating that it drops down. It's intended to drop down. It's designed to drop down. The driver is designed to drop this down so that it doesn't drain the battery too quickly. 8 seconds is more than enough to stun somebody with that amount of light. More than enough, okay? So I'll just let it drop down again. So now that it's dropped down, you can see that you still have a centralized area with most of the light, but you still have a really nice spill area too. This is a very, very, very useful light. I love it. Now, Bodyguard V1, same deal with the 8 seconds, but take a look. Can you notice any differences? Well, I'll tell you, the color temperature. So the Bodyguard V1 has a slightly warmer color temperature. It'll still drop down at 8 seconds. I think the starting lumens is 900 instead of 1100, so there's a slight difference there. But the color temperature is different. So when they're next to each other, you can see it the best. We'll just wait for the V2 to drop down, and then you'll see it the best. There we go. So much warmer or more neutral is the V1, and obviously more cool is the V2. Now, these two are basically the same light except for the color temperature. Okay, yep, the V2 requires more of an input voltage to work. So the V2 is not going to be ideal with one CR123, although it'll be phenomenal with two. So in the 16650 body, the CR123 would be, the two CR123s would be amazing. But apart from that, guys, it's literally just the color temperature. That's all it is. See on the wall there, it's just the color temperature. Both these lights have the exact same style of beam profile. They are a hotspot and spill or hotspot and peripheral light beam light. And the light that they put out is very, very, very useful. But as I said, designed as a self-defense light so that you get this burst, this quick burst of blinding light. And then if you no longer need that blinding light, instead of having to push something and change something or whatever, in 8 seconds, bang, it just cycles down and you've got very, very useful light that is not going to blind you. That is all that it is. Now, I cannot say to you that this is how they come because you can buy the Bodyguard V1 standard like this. And if you buy the Bodyguard V2, including the body, it'll come with an 18650 body, which I don't have, right? But best thing about Malkoff is the way I buy them is I just buy the heads and the bodies and maybe several bodies or whatever because they're such Lego lights. So as I showed you, you can use, I don't have an 18650 body as I said, but you can use 16650, 14500 and 16340 and 18650 bodies with both of these heads. They're phenomenal, phenomenal lights. Now, let's go outside so we can actually see the difference. There they are, there, the faces. Let's go outside so we can actually see the differences between these two at nighttime. And then we'll come back for some final thoughts, prices, and where to buy them. Hint, hint, Malkoff Devices. All right, kicking things off with the Bodyguard 1. bang, there it is. So nice hot spot, heaps of peripheral spill, warmer temperature, and in 8 seconds, it does that. So what's the lower output like? Very useful. Still heaps of spill. Does it go up to the foot almost? Let's get it back on turbo. Spill almost gets to the foot as well. A lot of light though. Awesome amount of light, and boom. So keep in mind what that did. I'll do a couple of different ones. Now Bodyguard 2, cooler white, seemingly more light, definitely more light. Looks like more of a mixed beam as well. Instead of like a bit of a hot spot and spill style, it's more of a mixed beam. Looks like there's a bit of a cut off there on the spill. It is a total internal after all. Definitely cooler white. And on turbo, definitely more light. Yep. Definitely more light. Look at that. That's a lot of light. All right, let's go back to the 1. There's the 1. There's the 2. I mean, it's not a great deal of difference, is it? One. Definitely one's got more of a centralized hotspot, I can see that. Which is weird because two has more candela. 2. All the way at the back there. Definitely getting that with ease, the 2 is. And then it'll drop off now. What about the 1 and the 1? Still getting there. Not as bright back there though. Only marginal, but still, these are the things we got to cover. 2. 1. Yeah, look, the difference is marginal. The largest difference is definitely in the color temperature. So it just depends on what you're going to want the light for. Are you going to want it more for the close-up when it's on low, or are you going to want it for the blast of light? If you want it for the blast of light for self-defense, they're both going to do pretty much the same thing, but I'd probably opt for the 2 just because the more lumens and more and cooler white, but they're both going to do the same thing. Although the drop-off from the 2 seems more significant, or maybe it's just because it's dropping from a higher level. I don't know. But they are very, very, very similar. All right, see ya. All right, so as I said, night shots speak for themselves. The very similar, like really, really similar. In terms of output, it's not really that easy, if at all, to notice the difference in 150, 200 lumens between these two. But that being said, I do think that the V2 has that edge over the V1 in terms of brightness. Now, I reckon the deciding factor of your choice between these two, seeing as everything else is basically the same or very, very similar, would be the color temperature, surely. If you're more of a cool white preferer, you're going to go for the V2. If you're more of a neutral white preferer, you're going to go to the V1. That is to me the major difference between the two. The rest is just, yep, Bodyguard V2 is not going to work that great with one CR123, but with 2 it'll work great. And apart from that, it's just the color temperature, guys. There's not much difference. Yeah, the Bodyguard V2's got an extra 200 lumens. To the naked eye, it's not that easy to tell the difference between that. So very, very similar lights, amazing lights. But color temperature, I believe, will be the decisive factor on if someone goes V1 or V2. Now, I'm going to link both these in the description. All you got to do is click on the link and it'll take you straight to Malkoff Devices. And I will link, what I'll do is I'll link, what will I do? I'll link a few links maybe. I'll link the Bodyguard V1 full setup to buy. And you can choose shrouded or unshrouded tail cap. I'll link the Bodyguard V2 full setup to buy in the 18650 body. And then I might link the separate heads and some other separate bodies for you to just go have a look at. But you know what? I might just link the area in Malkoff Devices that has it all. You know, I think it's like small lights or something like that. I can't remember, small to medium lights or something. Anyway, I'll link it. If you click on the link, it'll take you to whatever, and you'll be able to see what they've got on offer. All right, guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the review. Until next time, stay cool and stay safe. See ya.